सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां दयाकरं दयाकारं दान्तं धर्मप्रवर्तकं प्रणमामि दयानन्दं मदाचार्यवरं परम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। आप्यायन्तु ममाङ्गानि वाक्प्राणश्चक्षुश्रोत्रमथो बलमिन्द्रियाणि च सर्वाणि सर्वं ब्रह्मोपनिषदं माहं ब्रह्म निराकुर्यां मा ब्रह्म निराकरोत्। अनिराकरणमस्त्वनिराकरणं मे अस्तु। तदात्मनि निरतेय उपनिषत्सु धर्मास्ते मयि सन्तु ते मयि सन्तु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Yesterday we saw the very involved verse number 3, and what was that? Where the eyes do not go, the mind does not go, speech does not go, and what goes? Nothing goes. To objectify it, that which is the eye of the ear, the ear of the ear, etc., that which was explained, a very involved discussion. And the main takeaway from the discussion yesterday and the whole time we have spent on this verse is that we have to look for the invariable in every cognition. And that is going to be talked about in a few verses later as pratibodha viditam matam. That we will see later. That is more of a conclusion of this particular section. That can be taken like that. But for right now, we have to look for the invariable in every cognition. In every cognition, there is something variable. What is variable? Object of cognition is variable. Now I am looking at glasses. Now I am looking at paper. Now I am looking at book. Now I am looking at desk. Now I am looking at the ceiling. Now I am looking out of the window. That the object of cognition always varies from place to place, person to person, time, everything. Object of cognition varies, but what is invariable? What is invariable? I am invariable. The subject is invariable. The subject is totally invariable. And the subject is present everywhere at all times. Subject is there, present at all times in every cognition. Thus, if the subject also kept changing along with the object, what would happen? There would be no perception. There would be no perception. Sense perception would not be there at all. So the subject who is described here very uniquely as Shrotrasya Shrotram Chakshushash Chakshuhu, eye of the eye, the ear of the ear, the mind of the mind, etc., that is invariable. That is invariable. That is Satchidananda. That is Aham. That should be understood as Aham. That Aham is Brahman, is going to be pointed out in the next few verses, which is the what is that? Is the iteration, repeated iteration, the reiteration of Mahavakya, which we are going to start looking at today. So the invariable has to be recognized in every cognition. This was already pointed out as Shrotrasya Shrotram Manaso Manoyat Vacho Havacham Sa Upranasya Pranaha Chakshushash Chakshuhu Atimuchya Dhiraha Pretyasmal Lokat Amrita Bhavanti. This was already pointed out. What is the need to point out again and again? Because this is not easy to recognize. What is this that is not easy to recognize? Pratyagatma. Pratyagatma means the inner indweller who is not affected by anything that happens, who is not even affected by the cognitions, and who is not employed in the particular cognitions. So a very unique kind of Mahavakya that is repeated many times. In our understanding, in the Shastric understanding, usually they talk about 4 Mahavakyas. 4 Mahavakyas, each one belonging to one Veda. The most famous of them is what? Tattvamasi. First of all, we have to see what is Mahavakya. Jiveshwarayoho Aikyamata Vakya. That which is bringing about or discovering or allowing us to discover, revealing a unity, a oneness between the hapless, hopeless, helpless, jaded, faded, who? Jiva. I'm glad nobody said Brahman. Okay? Between the Jiva and who? Ishvara, not Brahman, Ishvara. Yeah, Ishvara. And this oneness is accomplished by discovering both are Brahman. Okay? That is how we have to understand. Here, even if it's Aham Brahmasmi, this Mahavakya, even though the word Brahman is used, it should be understood as Ishvara. Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma, another Mahavakya, where Brahman has to be understood as Jagat Karanam, Ishvara. Because that's where the rub is. I want overlordship. I feel finite, I feel tied up, I feel limited. Every which way I look at myself. This is where the oneness is understood. Usually they say there are 4 Mahavakyas, each belonging to one Veda. This is not true. Because that which is the definition of the Upanishad. What is the Upanishad? Brahma Gamayati. That is the definition of the word Upanishad. One of the definitions. That which takes me to Brahman. Takes me to Brahman means what? It doesn't take me through a special chariot. There is one song, swing low, sweet chariot. No, it's not coming to take me in a chariot. Where is this taking? Recognition. It reveals to me that I am Brahman and that I am this Ishvara, and that is what is called Mahavakya. In fact, if there is no Mahavakya, it cannot be called an Upanishad. It has to have Mahavakya. Otherwise, it's not an Upanishad. Otherwise, it's just a set of verses, something we can say, but it's not an Upanishad. So the Mahavakya here is in a very unique way, we'll see this, and it is repeated again and again, just like we have in the Kenopanishad also, we have the Mahavakya in a simple Mahavakya, etat vaitat. Etat, this means prakritam, whatever is being discussed. Whatever is being discussed is indeed tat. Etat, this is indeed that. Can you ever say this is indeed that and get away with a sanity certificate? No. People will think you're mad. This is indeed that. Who talks like that? In fact, the words talked about by the preposition this have to do with the immediacy. This body, this mind, this thing, whichever is close to me, immediately available. Whereas that door, that Ganga, that temple, that lecture hall, that Samadhi Mandir, all that is what? Far away. The preposition that is used for faraway things, and the preposition this is used for what? Close by things, not faraway things. Now this being the case, now what to do? Here, this is equal to that. Etat, vai, tat. in the Kenopanishad. Very interesting. How can you use this and that in the same sentence to refer to the same object? How? Only when it hasn't been recognized. And the story used to illustrate this is the famous story by Pujya Swamiji of three friends, three childhood friends. Let's call them Devadatta. Sanskrit is wonderful. You need one name, it is Mr. Devadatta. You need two names, Devadatta, Somadatta. You need three names, Devadatta, Somadatta, Yajnadatta. What if we need four names? Keep quiet. There are only three friends, I told you. Okay, so don't go there. Three names. Deva, Somu and Yajna for short. They were best of friends, grew up in the same town, very much into one another. And then what? They all grew up, went to college in a different place. And then after that, Deva dropped out suddenly. No Deva anywhere. No SMS, no text, and no phone. Somu and Yajna came back from their studies, and then what? Then got jobs, got married, had families, had children, and then they heard a Swami is coming to town. And of course, if you are married and have teenage children, the Swami coming to town is a very wonderful news. Yes, because I can go and listen and get some insights about my life. So they said, let's go check out this Swami. You know, Devu should have been here with us because he liked all these kinds of things. Let's go check out this Swami. So they went to the class, the discourse, had a wonderful time. They really enjoyed the discourse. And then prasad was being distributed. The Swami was distributing prasad, and then as they are in their prasad line, and as they come closer and closer, they both get a doubt. Somewhere this looks familiar. Kahin dekha sa lag raha hai. This is someone, is very familiar. Of course, the Swami has his own get-up. That's why the beard is grown. Yeah. And then the beard is there, and the dress is different, and mannerisms are somehow giving way. Somehow, because they were childhood friends. They know there was some kind of a familiarity. And Yajna and Somu are very intrigued. When their turn comes, suddenly it dawns on them. Oh, maybe the Swami smiled at them affectionately, and then suddenly it dawned on them. Yajna turns to Somu and says, what? You know what? That Devadatta is this Swami. You see how that and this are used in the same sentence to refer to the same object. That Devadatta means Tatkala Desha Vishishta Devadatta. The Devadatta qualified by that time, that space of the college days, of the hostel times that were well spent, is now this Devadatta who has a new get-up, a new costume, a new identity. It is the same, one and the same. So in this manner, even in our daily lives, we can use this and that that and this in the same sentence to refer to the same object. Why? Because the object has been rediscovered as that which I had not thought of. The object has been re-identified, rediscovered as something different from what I thought it was, and therefore the prepositions that and this can be used in the same sentence to refer to the same object. Very interesting. Therefore, it is a Mahavakya. Now, if anybody asks you, What did you study in class today? You can say, oh, this and that. Okay? So you can do that. So then, the same thing, the Kenopanishad also follows the same kind of a teaching methodology, which is called Vipsa. Vipsa means a kind of a strategic repetition. It's not repetition. It is coming to the same understanding from numerous ways to hit home the point that one is bound to miss otherwise. Either one is bound to miss or one gets all kinds of confusions. There's an area of confusion. So therefore, there is a strategic, deliberate deployment of a repetition so that we are not left with any kind of a wrong understanding. So, with this introduction, let us go forth. Yadvacha nabhyutitam yena vagabhyudyate tadeva brahmatvam vidhi nedam yadidam upasate. Yadvacha aprakashate. Adi Shankara says in the Bhashya, aprakashate na prakashate. That which is not lit up by the use of words. What is that? The answer should be Shrotrasya Shrotram Manaso Manoyate. That which in the second verse was described as Shrotrasya Shrotram, the eye of the eye, the ear of the ear. If you say, I want to know what it looks like, please describe, is not subject to being described by words. And we have to add directly. Because all other objects are described by words, they are available for words. Everything is available for words, and words become sentences, sentences become paragraphs, paragraphs become essays, essays become books, and so on. Books become manuscripts, all kinds of things are there. Books are in volumes, books become volumes. And so, like this is not something that is possible to be expressed by words directly. We have seen Lakshyartha, that's why I took some time to explain the Lakshana and Lakshyartha, the implied meaning of the words. They also don't define Brahman. We say definition, it's just a working definition of definition. Really, they don't define. What do? They indicate, like the sign that says restaurant. And when you go there, you know it is a restaurant. You don't even look at the sign afterwards. And similarly here, even though there is no going there or here or anywhere, it is all centered on this I, and since this I is Deva, Dyotanatmakatvat, because it is self-shining, Deva, then therefore whatever is indicated about its nature by the Shastra takes hold. So it's not that the words are directly indicating this. Words have limitations. Words have limitations, and objects revealed by the words also have limitations. And the limitations in the Sanskrit language, in the Shastra, in the Sanskrit language, are divided into three. Deshataha parichinnaha. Deshataha parichedaha. Parichedaha means limitation. Space-wise limited. Everything is space-wise limited. Space-wise, everything suffers from space-wise limitation. Kalataha parichinnaha. Time, if it doesn't have space-wise limitation, like space does not have space-wise limitation. What about time? It has time-wise limitation. There was a time when space wasn't, and there will be a time when space is not. So, time-wise limitation, time-boundedness, space-boundedness. And then space boundedness means what? I can only occupy this much space at a given time. Even if you just spread out and sit, how much space can you occupy? There is a limit to that. Time-wise limitation, everybody knows. All you have to do is visit a cemetery. 1879 dash 1922. What is that? Yeah, that is called the epitaph. There will be a board, and then on that it will be said so and so, and the year of birth and the year of death. And all the person's achievements, all the person's accolades, and the 3 marriages are all denoted by 1 dash. Simple. 1 dash, that's all. Time-wise, gone. There might have been a time where before this became a cemetery, that person had walked in that same place where the body is now buried. But still, time-wise, finite. Space-wise, finite. And then the third limitation is a kind of a funny limitation, not very well understood. Object-wise limitation, vastutaha parichhedaha. Vastutaha means if this is a flower right now, it can also not become a mango at the same time. It is a vastu. Vastutaha parichheda. It is bound by being a flower and it cannot turn itself into something else. Unless, of course, one has some siddhis or something like that, then we have all kinds of wonderful stories. And you know, this Harry Potter and all this is nothing. You just read the Puranas, you can get everything there. Yeah, in fact, Harry Potter should give royalty for Puranas. It should give, because it's just taking without acknowledging, really. A lot of things are like that. So therefore, every object enjoys or rather suffers from these 3 kinds of what? Limitations. These 3 kinds of limitations are there. What about the words that reveal those objects? They too suffer from those kinds of limitations because there is a connection between the word and the meaning. The word pot, P-O-T, finite. Object-wise finite. Time-wise finite. Now I uttered the word pot, now the pot is gone. And then, so it's this way, everything is totally finite. Totally finite. And then, therefore, the words that reveal objects are also finite. We have a mechanism for revealing that which is infinite through the usage of finite words, but we have already seen that. And because we are not using the words to reveal, we are using the words to indicate. There is a difference. So, now that we have understood words cannot reveal anything other than objects which are finite, what about the subject? In fact, it is the subject that reveals words. That which brings to light the meaning of the words. The meaning of the words are brought to light by what? Consciousness, which has been earlier described as the eye of the eye, the ear of the ear, the mind of the mind, etc. That consciousness alone reveals the words. It is in fact Shirshasana. What is that? Headstand. Yes. We are making a headstand now. Immediately we are making a headstand. Why are we making a headstand? Because we have got it all wrong. We have got it all wrong. Like the children's story of the baby spider and the mother spider walking on the ceiling. And then the baby spider says to the mother spider, "Mom, why is everybody upside down?" So this way our understanding is upside down. Our understanding has to be righted. That's why we have to go through this. And there is a very sweet bhashya portion I'd like to read, which is very, very nice. I saw it this morning and I'd like to share it with you. Yeah, two areas. Okay. Then Shabdasya tan nivartakasya cha karanasya atma brahma. So this Atma is Brahman. Why? Because it is the content of the word. Yeah, Shabdasya tan nivartakasya means it's the content of the word and the instrument that manifests the word. It's the instrument that manifests the word. And because it manifests the word, then it cannot be what? It cannot be that which is objectified by the word, because it alone manifests the word. And then one more place, which is very beautifully said, just so that you have a taste of how Adi Shankara writes and why we are all so happy with Adi Shankara's language here. Yena brahmana vivakshite arthe sakarana vag abhyudyate. By which Brahman? What is this Brahman? The consciousness, light of consciousness, abhyudyate. The word along with the meaning is employed, is revealed, where in the desired area of the communication. And then Chaitanyatma Jyotisha, that is the light of consciousness, prakashyate prayujyate iti. Very beautiful. Very beautiful. So this Sajatiya Bheda, let's go back to the three constricting things: Sajatiya Bheda, Vijatiya Bheda, and Swagata Bheda. So this is corresponds to Kalataha, Deshataha, and what else? Vastutaha. So Kalataha, Deshataha, Vastutaha, Bheda we have seen, time-wise, space-wise, and object-wise. This object-wise Bheda is further divided into three. Every object suffers from these three finite things, these three forms of finitude. What is that? It is Sajatiya. Sajatiya Bheda means it has a differentiation and further finitude from other things in its own class. Like even what? Tree. Tree means what? It's a jati. Many kinds of trees are there. Mango tree, banyan tree, coconut tree. All these trees. Tree is a jati, and sajatiya bheda means that there will be many trees. So you see, each tree becomes a small little thing in the scope of this. And then vijatiya bheda means that there is a difference between coconut tree and mango tree. And then there is also a difference between coconut tree and the rock, and the coconut tree and the mountain, coconut tree and the river. There is a big difference. Vijatiya bheda. Then again, if you look at the coconut tree or the mango tree, it will have its own parts called swagata bheda. Swagata bheda means what? Differences within itself, divisions within itself. The mango tree will have what? Branches, trunk, twigs, leaves, flowers, fruit. All this makes it very divided. And so too, the words that reveal all these divisions cannot reveal the divisionless one, which is the truth of myself, which is that invariable consciousness present in all the words, because of which the words light up the meanings, that because of which I hear the word pot, that because of which I understand the word pot, that because of which I can objectify the pot, is this Brahman. Is this Brahman. Now I think it becomes clear that because of which I objectify the word pot, that because of which the meaning of the word pot is lit up in the mind, that consciousness alone is called Brahman. Here is the first time the word Brahman is used. Up till then it was very mysterious. The eye of the eye, ear of the ear. What is that eye of the eye? What is that ear of the ear? What is the mind of the mind is now revealed here through one word, Brahman. Again, it's a deliberate word which is used not to objectify Brahman, not to reveal Brahman, but to indicate Brahman. How does it do that? We saw this in the Gita class yesterday a little bit. Brihi vriddhau. A dhatu is there which means big. Big is what? Relative. Big is not absolute. Big is relative. There is a difference between pebble big. Look at this big pebble. You look for the pebble. Pebble size is like this. Look at this big marble. Marble size is small. Big marble means amongst the marble, which is the big, maybe it is this big. Look at this big marble and then look at this big mountain. Big is what? Adjective here. Big is normally used as an adjective. Big man, big woman, big tree, big deal. So big is an adjective. But here the adjective has been very cleverly converted into a noun. Brihi vriddhau, plus there is a suffix called manin, and that leads to the word Brahman. Brihi vriddhau. That which is big means what? Bigness itself. If it is big without any constriction, what does that mean? Limitlessly big. We are not talking of man big, we are not talking of woman big, we are not talking of room big, we are not talking of mountain big, we are not talking of mustard seed big. A big, that which is big without qualifications means what? Limitlessly big. This is what Brahman is, that consciousness which is limitlessly all-pervasive. In fact, it is the biggest thing there is. That is what it is. This is one derivation. The other derivation is Brahmanat. Brahmanat Brahma. Brahmanat Brahma means that which grows. Brahman also grows means what? We are done in for, we are looking for the invariable. No. Grows as though to become the Jagat. In the Mundakopanishad also we encountered a mantra. What is that? Tapasa chiyate Brahma. Tapasa chiyate. Chiyate means, and Adi Shankara describes in the Bhashya, that it's like a seed which is put in water. When you put the seed in water, what happens? It becomes plump, ready to germinate. That is how it is. So it is big means it is becoming big like that. It's not pregnant with the Jagat, anything like that. This is all just a symbol. It's a visual to understand that which is capable of growing into the Jagat. The Jagat being mithya, being entirely dependent upon Brahman, being entirely projected by Brahman, taken back by Brahman and sustained by Brahman, is therefore not a competitor to Brahman. Brahman does not undergo any change, does not quote unquote become the Jagat. It just is present as the Jagat without undergoing any change. How do I understand this? First go to sleep, not now, okay? Yeah, in your own time. And then have a dream. What is the dream? Who is there in the dream? You are there very much. You have given yourself a body. And then in the dream, it is always Wednesday. Yeah. Okay. No classes. A day for visiting people, places, hitting the restaurants, and then what else? Visiting the various temples. This is called Wednesday. When is it Wednesday? Always. Where? In the dream. So you dream it is Wednesday, you have given yourself a body, And then, of course, it's no fun going alone to temples. You have to have somebody to discuss the temples with. And so you have a few friends. Who are these friends? Classmates. But then, who are these dream friends? The dream friends are nothing but you. You have given yourself a body. You have given the dream friends are also the body. Otherwise, if they were real friends, they would be upset. Why did you dream of me? I didn't want to go to this place. I wanted to go somewhere else. But nothing like that happens. All your dream friends are with you and you embark on a dream Wednesday outing. In the dream Wednesday outing, you visit the dream temples. Okay, now all the animated things are you. Maybe you hire a auto rickshaw, or maybe you hire a car. What is the car? You. Who is the driver? You. And then you go there, temple. Temple is an inanimate object, but you pervade the entire inanimate object. What is the temple? You. Temple is you, priest is you, the deity that is there is also you, and the architecture is you, the puja is you, the prasad is also you, and then the alarm rings. It's not Wednesday. What happens when the alarm rings? Where does the dream go? It is vacuumed up by that same consciousness which projected it. Here, this is a mini consciousness and a mini jagat that is projected, sustained and retracted. In the total level, we have that same consciousness, samashti, project the entire jagat, sustain it, and then take it back. What is very important to know is without any residue. You don't have pieces of temple prasad when you wake up on your blanket. You don't have that. You don't have your friend sitting there. Why did you dream of me? Like this. So this is how to understand that, because of which everything is lit up. Nothing can light it up. It abides as the word, it abides as the meaning of the word. It brings the meaning of the word to light without undergoing any change. So, yadvaja anabhyuditam, that which is not revealed by words directly, but because of which the whole universe is revealed. How is the whole universe revealed? Because what is this whole universe? Words. The whole universe is words. It's a string of words. Think about it. Words, words, words. It's a string of words. There's nothing but words. The whole universe is word, word, word and meaning, word and meaning, word and meaning, word and meaning. Pot, word and meaning. Thought, word and meaning. Think of anything. It's word and meaning. River, it's a word that has a meaning. Mountain, it's a word that has a meaning. Moonshine, word that has a meaning. Sunshine, word that has a meaning. Everything, this whole jagat is word and meaning. This is what is revealed to Shvetaketu in the 6th chapter of the Chandogya Upanishad effortlessly. Sadeva somya idamagre asit ekameva dvitiyam. This is how the Upanishad begins there with a big bang. Sat eva asit. This jagat, before it came into being, was still there. What do you mean this was there? Was means what? It was in an undifferentiated form called Sat. Let us call it Sat. Ekameva. How many Sats were there? One. And what kind of one? Indivisibly one. Otherwise you can say, I would like half a Sat, please. I am not ready for the whole. Please give me 1/4 Sat. No. One. Indivisibly, non-dually one. Ekameva dvitiyam. How to understand this? Ekena mritpindena sarvam mrinmayam vigyatam bhavati. Just like if you study one lump of clay, the entire world of earthenware is as good as known. You don't have to do PhD on this pot and then you do a PhD on this pot. No. You just know that all the pots, this whole basket of pots is what? Clay. Sarvam mrinmayam mrit vikaram vijnatam bhavati. Okay, then what is pot? What is lid? What is sharava, jug? What is the Krishna figurine made of clay? What is all that? The teacher in the Chandogya Upanishad tells Shvetaketu. The father turned teacher tells Shvetaketu, Vacharambhanam vikaro namadheyam. The whole Jagat dances on your tongue in the form of Vak. Vak alambanam, Vak arambhanam, both. Vacharambhanam, that which begins with the word, the Jagat begins with the word. Jagat begins with the word Om. This is what Brahmaji said after creating the Jagat. Om, Atha, these were the first words that were uttered. Om is Brahman. That's why it's Mangala, auspicious. So, Jagat begins with the word. Jagat is just word, word, word everywhere. Alambanam is the words are, the Jagat is dependent upon words for its very existence. It has no way of communicating itself other than communicating its existence, mithya existence, other than words. This whole Jagat is a string of words along with their meanings. So therefore, that consciousness which reveals this Jagat along with the words and meanings that are understood is free of all words. Has to be free of all words. Very beautiful. So then, if this much is understood, we can go further. And then it says, Tadeva Brahma Tvam Vidhi. Tvam Vidhi. It's an order. It's an injunction. You must know this. You have to know this. There is an urgency whenever you deploy the imperative mood. Imperative mood, it does not, wait to say, please, would you like to know this? No. Imperative mood means what? Go, come, drink, eat, get up. No, you must know. It's in the form of a command. No time for pleases and thank yous. It's an imperative mode. Lot, it's called. And then, therefore, Tvam Vidhi. You must know this. This is how you have to know this. Tadeva Brahma. That is Brahman. The Brahman that you are searching for is the word and is that which reveals the word which is connected to the meanings as the whole Jagat in the form of this entire Jagat of names and forms. In fact, name is word, meaning is form. Really, that's all that is. The whole Jagat is dancing on my tongue. Anything I enunciate is dependent upon me. This invariable consciousness, know this to be Brahman. And then what is not Brahman? Na idam, this is not Brahman. Yadidam, that which upasate, lokaha. Upasate, plural. Though, they who, lokaha, they who worship. Upasana, worship, meditate upon. Brahman is not an object of meditation in the sense that it is you. It cannot be an object. It is you. We can take upasana as worship also. Worship also is upasana. And then there are many forms of upasana. One of them is called Sampat Upasana. Sampat Upasana means that you deliberately superimpose something on something else which has certain similarities, I will explain, and then you pray upon that. Like for example, Saligrame Vishnum Dhyayet. There is one statement. In this, the whole Himalayas was the beach before. That was the beach. India was part of Africa, millions of years, and then slowly with the shifting of the tectonic plates, the whole area that we know as the Himalayas collided with the land mass, forming the mountains. So what was a beach now has become mountains. Look at that, magic. And so in the mountains, beach mein, in the middle of the mountains, what do you find? Shells, fossilized shells of sea creatures. And the sea creatures are in a spiral form, which is reminiscent of Vishnu's chakra. And they are also in the form of a conch shell, which is again reminiscent of the accoutrements held by Lord Vishnu. So when you break open this stone, which is now petrified, what was used to be the shell is gone, but the markings are there. And there is an injunction or an invitation, because the mind is unstable and you cannot really think of Bhagavan or pray without an aid. Use the aid of the Shankha and the Chakra as what? As reminiscent of Vishnu. So what are we doing? What is Mahavishnu? Mahavishnu is all pervasive. Mahavishnu is you. But then we are superimposing Mahavishnu on a mere shell, on a mere rock. Saligrame Vishnum dhyayet, which means Nikrishta Vastuni, in a lowly object, Utkrishta Vastu Dhyanam. So that which is exalted is as though superimposed on a lowly object, and the injunction is given, please pray. To center your mind. It's not that the fossil is Vishnu. Okay? Don't think fossil is Vishnu. Vishnu is not a fossil. But here, so that the mind can be fossilized in bhakti, therefore you use the fossil to train the mind. This kind of upasanas are many. And this is called Sampat Upasana. Sampat Upasana. It's a technical name. And then there is another kind of upasana. There are many kinds. These are two divisions, two broad categories. Sampat Upasana, where I meditate upon something as something else, which that object of meditation, of course, is separate from me. I am nowhere saying I am Vishnu. What am I saying? Rock is Vishnu. This fossilized rock, which has Shankha, Chakra, the emblems of Vishnu, is indeed Vishnu. I am looking at it that way. This is one. And then the other one is called Ahangraha Upasana. Yatra, where Aham Grihyate, where the I is also caught and involved in the Upasana. Ahangraha Upasana means I am very much involved, the I is involved, and then if it is upon Vishnu or whatever, I look upon myself as included in this Vishnu that we are talking about. So if the Ahangraha Upasana is involved, then it is a sound form of Upasana, because I am involved. Again, while worshipping Lord Dakshinamurti, what is the Lord Dakshinamurti? The eightfold Murti, eight-faceted form. And one of the ingredients in this Murti is what? Me. I make the Lord the Lord. If I don't say you are Lord, that means what? There is no Lord, really. And so this understanding here is called Ahangraha Upasana, as opposed to Sampat Upasana. And even though the Upanishad does not criticize any of the Upasanas, what does it do? It makes sure that you know that Ahangraha Upasana is the way to go. This is just one step shy of Atmajnanam, where you keep seeing the truth of yourself by including yourself in the worship. Even though sometimes, even though you are doing puja, and the person is doing puja, puja means there is always a division between subject, I, and the object. people will always say that make me into an instrument of your doing. And then while offering flowers also, they will offer it here, offer it there, and then offer it to Bhagavan. Because you are not really there, you are here. But I am choosing to objectify you there. So they touch the heart with the flower, they touch the forehead with the flower, their own forehead. And then they offer. That flower does not become impure because I have put it on my heart first. In fact, it becomes more pure, more sanctified because of this understanding. So here, even though all these various kinds of upasanas are talked about, here what is na idam yadidam upasate means this is not an object of upasana. So Sampat Upasana and the worship where, Shiva is on the altar, Vishnu is on the altar, and the worship is fraught with duality. You are there, I am here, and then, you are going to get angry at me, and that's why I have brought you some bananas to calm you down. And so like this, if you keep worshipping, then you are missing the point. The Upanishad is very, very clear. Don't miss the point. Tadeva brahmatvam vidhi. Tat means what? Yad vacha anabhyuditam yena vagabhyudyate. That which presides over the whole jagat in the form of words and meanings, and that which reveals those words and meanings without becoming the words, the object of the words and meanings. And that which was earlier described as Shrotrasya Shrotram Manaso Manoyat, that one is to be understood as you. That Brahman is you, that consciousness is you. That consciousness now has a new name, Brahman, not that which is on top of your altar, unless you are altered by that worship. That's why it's called altar. That which has the power to alter you. So if you have something on the altar, it should speak to you. You should be transformed by it. Otherwise it becomes a mechanical, rote, practice. Om Bhavaya Devaya Namah, Om Sarvaya Devaya Namah, Om Ishanaya Devaya Namah, Om Pashupate Devaya Namah, Om Rudraya Devaya Namah. Finished. What next? Okay, ding ding ding. What next? That's all. It becomes just a rote exercise, a meaningless exercise. Why? Because the great-great-great-granddaddy did it, great-great-great-grandmommy also did it, and then grandmommy, granddaddy did it, mommy, daddy did it, and now I am also doing it. No thought, nothing there. It is wonderful that this tradition is inherited. But after it is inherited, it has to be inquired into. And that inquiry is called Brahmanveshanam, self-inquiry. That is what has to happen. Otherwise, what is the use? There is no use at all. Simply I swallow a pumpkin because everybody else also tried to swallow it, and I also tried to swallow it because somebody said I should do this. Where is the, where is the questioning? Where is the inquiry? And where is the assimilation? Where is the understanding? The worship must necessarily lead to emotional maturity that questions the very worship and leads to an understanding of what this means for me. Otherwise, what is the use of that worship? A worship that does not include me as the object of worship is really not worship at all. Here, that is what is talked about. This Brahman, this is a Mahavakya. Where is the Mahavakya? Tadeva Brahma. Tadeva Brahma. What is that Brahman? That which is that consciousness which is you. The consciousness was described first, Chit was described first, and now Sat is being described, that which is the Satta, the existence of the entire universe. Tadeva Brahmatvam Vidhi, not that which you worship on your altar. Not that which is away from you or you consider it away from you. If you consider anything away from you, that means you have to quickly get into a Vedanta class and resolve the ignorance. Next one. Yan manasa na manute yenahur manomatam tadeva brahmatvam vidhi nedam yadidam upasate yat manasa na manute. Manute is missing a subject. We can say kopi. No one. No one. One does not know. One does not know what? That through the mind. That which is not an object of knowledge through the mind. Here we have to be careful because what do we say? Manasa eva idam aptavyam Kenopanishad. This has to be gained only through the mind. And here what does it say? Yat manasana manute. Is it a contradiction? No. It is not a contradiction. Because Upanishad cannot have internal contradiction between one Upanishad and the other Upanishad, and it cannot be contradicted by any other body of knowledge from outside the Upanishad. Why? Because it is a pramana. So if something looks like a contradiction, I have to look at it carefully and understand it properly. I have to give the Shruti the benefit of doubt. This is called Shraddha. Manasa eva idam aptavyam. We have to see the context there in the Kenopanishad. That which has to be gained only through the mind. Only through the mind means it is not an object of experience, because even though Brahman is experienced all the time, what is one hungering for? Brahman experience. I want a special Brahman experience. Okay, tathastu here. And I'll have a stopwatch. Tick, 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 tick. Brahman experience has just begun. Tick, 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 tick. Ding. Brahman experience just ended. How did you enjoy it? Huh? What happened in this tick, 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 tick time? The Brahman experience is finite here. If Brahman is a special object of experience, an experience is defined by as that which you get into and that which you come out of. It's finite, it's temporary. That's why the stopwatch, tick, 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 tick. Now the Brahman experience starts. Ooh, I feel blissful. I feel some bliss coming on. Tick, tick. Okay, now it's gone. This is not what is to strive for. If one is striving for this, then might as well go after mango shake and chocolate cake. Okay? Yeah. It's the same thing. Those two are finite. That's also finite. And then this is also finite. What is the difference? No difference at all. Both are finite. Both, you enter into the experience, you get out of this experience. So therefore, that which is not an object of experience, but then ironically, as though paradoxically, that which is being experienced all the time. The one who says, I'm dying for a Brahman experience, is experiencing Brahman. How? As the one dying for an experience. The one that says, I wish I had a Brahman experience, is experiencing Brahman as the wishful thinker. The truth of the thinker, Brahman. The truth of the wisher, Brahman. The wish itself is Brahman. Everything is Brahman. In fact, Pujya Swamiji used to always say something very beautiful. He used to say, experience is dumb. It has to be converted to knowledge. What is the use? I had this wonderful experience. People come to Swamis and say, I have a wonderful experience. Please explain what this means. Means you are seeking knowledge. The experience does not reveal anything other than leaves you with a swimmy feeling. That's all. The swimmy feeling is not Brahman, because the swimmy feeling comes and the swimmy feeling goes. That which is the content of the thinker, the thought that comes and goes, the experience that comes and goes, the content of the experiencer, the content of that which is experienced, and the means of experience, that which transcends all of them, that is you, that is Brahman. Indivisible, infinite. So therefore, the mind cannot grasp it as an object. Yan manasana manute. Kopi. Nobody can grasp this through the mind being the agent of the knowledge. The mind cannot be the agent of this knowledge. The mind is the agent of flower knowledge. Flower cognition happens. Flower is seen, the word flower is heard, flower is experienced, and then the knowledge, phalavyapti, that flower is this is that flower, that cognition takes place. This flower which I see in front of me is the very flower that was cognized, cognized earlier. Cognized earlier means as soon as I say flower, what happens? The flower has come in the mind, the impression of the flower has come in the mind. That is what this is. This flower is that flower. Phalavyapti, meaning the cognition of the flower takes place. Brahman cannot be cognized like that at all. So the mind cannot be the agent of this knowledge. The mind is actually a servant of this knowledge. Manasa, a tool of this knowledge, instrumental case. A tool of this knowledge, a useful tool where the knowledge takes place. It's the receptacle of the knowledge and it's a tool of the knowledge. It cannot be the agent of knowledge. How? We'll see that tomorrow. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.